talk a little bit about how you get to be at the bottom of this pyramid here and how you end up as a debt slave. And it all starts with the most severe law in the world, and it's the UCC, the Uniform Commercial Code. And this law is the law of all commerce on the planet. It's a uniform law that's adopted by all of the shipping and all of the conveyance of goods. And it's all based on Canon law, which is the law of the Roman Catholic Church. Now, the reason they use this is this all dates back to, the 1400s and the time when the primary exchange of goods was being done by nations that were directly under the control of the Roman Catholic Church. And they could influence the whole industry by having the priests tell the kings and queens that they need to be following the canon laws, the laws of the church. And so a lot of the laws from then are deeply influenced by that relationship. And so since we're talking about the commercial code here, let's talk a little bit about ships and how that turns you into a good that's being traded. So in the UCC, when a ship pulls into a port, it pulls in and stops in what's called a berth in the port. And the berth is the definition in a commercial code for the place where the ship meets the dock, right? And so at the time that the ship pulls in, the captain or the first mate has to have ready a manifest, and that manifest needs to be given to the port authorities so that they know exactly what is coming off of that ship and into the economy of that country. And that's the same thing that's going on with us when we're being born. We are meeting the doctor, which is the doc, and the mother is actually an informant if you look at the documents, and she's informing the doctor on behalf of the country that this new entity is being added, and through that transaction it's established what your value is going to be in the new world order, and they give you a birth certificate. And that birth certificate is associated with a QSIP number, which is a number that identifies stocks on the stock exchange that are traded internationally. And it's the same idea that goods on that ship have. They're all on a security document, a bill of lading that is traded between international companies, and that's how they transfer money. And so on that manifest, they have a list of all the secured items that are being shipped, because they don't actually ship money with it. They don't ship money back with the ship or anything. It's all in that bill. And the whole idea of us being birthed comes from back in the Nazi Germany idea that babies are birthed on their mother's water, and therefore they have a inherent value that's going to be placed on them in that new world order. And this is why it's so very important that you look at the words that are being used and try to get an idea of how they relate to history, and look up definitions using Webster's dictionary and using Black Law's dictionary, because the words are very important and the symbols are very important that are in these documents, because they mean things. And if you don't pay attention, you're not going to ever know where you fit. And we really need to know, for instance, that the birth certificate is a security document. If you look at the birth certificate of live record, at the bottom it will show the securities. It'll show the security standard for the document, that it has to be in full color and it has to meet these definitions for it to be authenticated, right? And on the bottom corner or on the back of it, it'll have that number, and that number will be your stock number. And when I say you, I'm not talking about you, the natural person. I'm talking about you, the collateral for debt for the U.S. government to use. They have sold your future tax payments to the stock exchange for money now, and they monetize you for the first 18 years of your life. And so they've been monetizing that first 18 years. And so as soon as you start working, then you start contributing also to the funds that these secured documents are guaranteeing. And it's a whole system that's used. For my understanding, we're actually part of a bankruptcy settlement, but we're also part of the payment for the land of this country. When we were declared independent, it wasn't the people or the government of this country, it was the land that was given away, but it was all at a price. And that established a debt that was owed to the crown. And it's amazing when you go back and look at history what actually happened. Basically, the people were sold, and a new form of government was put in place that was illegal, and it actually would have gotten rid of the whole Constitution, but it's been put in place and been there so long now that there's really no way to, short of a complete rebellion, to get rid of it. So the reason that all of this is taking place is it funds the government. And if you want to know what your birth certificate trades at, or you want to know what your social security number is trading at, because that also has a QSIP number, get yourself a Fidelity account, and don't tell them what the number is, but when you have your account, just tell them, hey, I want you to check this stock number and let me know what this security is trading at, and they will tell you exactly what you're trading at, because they can look it up on the stock exchange, and you'll be able to see exactly what is being traded at. Now, you're not going to be able to go liquidate that or anything, and you wouldn't want to, because what you really want to do is you're going to want to access that money as a surety for credit, as a collateral for credit, because it allows you to have open-ended credit when you understand how to access that money. And when you understand who you are, you can look up the laws and find out exactly what it is you need to do in order to not pay bills and to live a life of freedom based off of the money that is being traded on you.